Here's the first thing to make peace with. It is mathematically easier for a smaller coin to move 30% in a day than it is for a larger one. That's not a knock on XRP, and it's not a compliment to XLM. It's just size. The bigger the asset, the more capital it takes to push the price, and the more boring the chart looks on any given afternoon. And I'm not going to insult you by pretending XRP's price action has been exciting, because it hasn't. For a good stretch of this year, XRP has been grinding sideways in the low $1.30s, sitting well below where it was last summer, down meaningfully over the past 6 months. If you've been holding and feeling like the market forgot your name, that feeling is based on something real. I'm not going to gaslight you out of it. But here's the reframe that changes everything. In markets, boring and dead are not the same word. A coin that pumps 100% on one headline and then slowly bleeds out is not healthier than a coin that refuses to move while news quietly stacks up underneath it. Sometimes the most violent green candle is the least durable thing on the screen. And sometimes the flat, frustrating sideways chart is the sound of a base being built, slowly, unglamorously, by people who aren't in a hurry. The question that actually matters isn't which coin pumped harder this week. Anyone can answer that with a glance. The real question is, which asset has the deeper roots, the kind that survive after the excitement fades and the timeline moves on to the next shiny thing? That's a harder question. It takes more than a screenshot to answer. And it's the exact question almost no one panicking right now has stopped to ask. So let's ask it properly, by looking at what the largest, slowest, most patient money in the world has been doing with XRP, while retail was busy chasing the green. Quick one before the numbers, and I genuinely want your answer in the comments. Did you know that while everyone was watching the XLM candle, XRP funds were quietly taking in money, while Bitcoin and Ethereum funds were losing it? Type yes or no below. I want to see how many of you had this on your radar. Because here's what the data shows. Across the US spot XRP ETFs, total net assets recently sat around $1.1 billion, with well over $1 billion in cumulative inflows since they launched back in November of 2025. On its own, that's just a number. What makes it interesting is the contrast. In that same late May window, while XRP funds were still adding money, the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs were doing the opposite, losing somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 billion combined.